Greetings, InfoSec neighbors. My name is Troy Brown. I'm very honored to be your host. Welcome to our show dedicated to exploring the news, culture, training, gear, and tradecraft for InfoSec professionals, Hacker Warehouse TV. Some of you with keen eyes will have noticed myself and our producer Brian at DEFCON 24 last month, and let me tell you, we had an absolute blast. In fact, we saw so much cool stuff that we decided to make this premiere episode a special extended-length DEFCON edition. That means that all of our news stories, main segments, tools, and tradecraft segments will be taken directly from DEFCON 24. At this year's event, there were over 22,000 of you humans and inhumans that traveled out to fabulous Las Vegas and packed into both Paris and Bally's conference centers to visit all the talks, LobbyCons, one of many contests like Lost Badge Challenge, CTF contests, car hacking, hardware hacking, crypto and privacy, social engineering or packet hacking village. Hopefully that's not you on the wall sheet there, and much, 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 much more. One of my favorite parts about DEFCON is seeing everyone from hackers to engineers to feds all join together at the same talk or at the same party, learning from and helping each other out. DEFCON always promises to be wildly informative, wildly entertaining, and yeah, sometimes just wild. And this year was no exception. The Hacker Warehouse TV team did 9 different interviews with InfoSec leaders, was in attendance at over half a dozen talks, enjoyed tasty beverages in the DC 503, Whiskey Pirates and DC 801 suites, and I myself flew in a drone competition. We experienced a little DTMF Simon Says at a payphone and helped a guy with his lockpicking against the Rook as part of the DC Darknet Challenge, which plays like a diverse Ninja Warrior course for hacker types. And I even got an honorable mention at the badge competition, but more about that later. First, let's go to the news. We at Hacker Warehouse TV know that new developments are happening in the InfoSec sphere every day, and it can be easy to miss important things. So with the help of InfoSecEvents.net, we gather, filter, and sort all the news that comes across the wire and boil it down to just the essentials in a little segment we lovingly refer to as the news. All right, first off, the world's first ever all-machine hacking tournament kicked off at DEFCON this year, facilitated by DARPA. 7 high-performance computers developed by 7 competing teams composed of white-hat hackers, academics, and private sector cybersecurity experts competed in the Cyber Grand Challenge final event for a $2 million prize. DARPA claimed it took an average of 312 days for humans to detect software vulnerabilities, and even longer to patch, which leaves malware makers way too much time to wreak havoc. During the competition, each team's cyber reasoning system automatically identified software and patched flaws in mere minutes. For nearly 12 hours, teams were scored based on how capably their systems protected hosts, scanned the network for vulnerabilities, and maintained the correct function of software. The winning team, For All Secure, attributed their success to a dual-path approach, combining 2 autonomous systems. While one system mined paths in the software searching for flaws, a second system acted as a fast-directed fuzzer, looking for proof that a flaw actually existed. Once found, it then began the patching process. Combining these 2 autonomous systems ultimately led the team to a win, advanced the field of malware research, and will probably make Skynet a little harder to kill. Next up, a new hope to secure the Internet of Things was revealed at DEFCON. A new project called Cyber Independent Testing Labs, or CITL, plans to evaluate and score the security characteristics of software powering electronic consumer devices. While some call the project a cyber UL of sorts, Director Peter, aka Mudge Zatko, assured DEFCON they won't focus on certifications or seals of approval, but rather provide transparent test results similar to consumer reports. This information will allow a qualitative comparison and evaluation of product security by pretty much anyone. Project CITL will evaluate software and systems using a wide range of metrics that attackers use to identify which targets are hard or soft. They work based on the compiled code to see how programs are actually implemented on machines, as opposed to merely the intention of its designers. The information will include analysis and comparative ratings and promises to read like a nutrition label or energy efficiency rating for software, as well as traditional operating systems, appliances, and services. This is good news for anyone struggling to purchase secure technologies. And in other news, this little gem of a vulnerability was presented at DEFCON 24 by a couple of guys from Costa Rica in a talk entitled Exploiting and Attacking Seismological Networks Remotely. We caught up with Bertine and James of netdb.io after their talk. Let's see what they had to say. Hey guys, this is Troy with Hacker Warehouse TV, and I just wanted to show you some of the latest research here. I'm with Bertine and James from netdb.io. They just did a talk on hacking seismotomic sensors, right? So tell us a little bit about what you guys discovered.
Well, we found several seismographs running in the middle of the ocean, so we were able to exploit them and then perform a man-in-the-middle attack in order to corrupt all the seismic data coming from the station to the acquisition center.
Now, did you find these sensors that are under the ocean, do they have any encryption or any kind of authentication on them?
They are running on text plane, so there are no SSL communication in any way.
Really?
Yeah, really. There are not authorization, like a password, anything. There's nothing.
Wow.
Plain text. You can even set up a fake Taurus right now here and start setting data to the acquisition server without any authorization.
Wow, that is insane. And actually what I saw you just do on screen is you were able to connect to the sensor and then send it different latitude and longitude, is that correct?
Yeah, we can modify that in the proxy in the middle, because you can tell to the station, well, now this is going to be your new IP address, which is our evil proxy. And when the packets comes to our proxy, they're going to be read it and then modified according to our parameters, new parameters, and then we're going to pass that thing in a transparent way to the acquisition center.
So with that, basically the outcome of that is you can spoof an earthquake happening in the middle of the ocean. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Also, we have contacted the vendors of the devices without any success. You know, they don't care about it.
So what we did is contact the US CERT and explain to them, well, this is the bugs and the vulnerability that we found. And they told us, yeah, no problem, we're going to contact the vendor. 3 months later, the US CERT came back to us and told us, well, this is the response from the vendor. And they acknowledged some bugs, some others not. Well, we are actually in the process.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys get a great response. I'm sure the vendor really appreciates the information and everything that you've done so far. One question is, how did you come about researching this particular type of sensor over other things?
Well, at the beginning of the talk, I explained that because I've been an independent researcher for the dark matter of the internet. That's what I call it, the dark side of the internet. So I have seen many servers on the internet, many exchange servers, industrial equipment, cars, even boats. But I haven't seen any stuff like that.
Well, keep doing it, because it's really interesting stuff. Nice. It was a great talk. Everybody really appreciates it. For everybody else, netdb.io, go out there, check out their search engine. Maybe you can find some sensors out there that haven't been discovered yet. Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot.
You too, Troy.
Thank you. This is Troy with Hacker Warehouse. We'll see you next time. Lastly, but certainly not least, we wanted to extend congrats to the official DEFCON contest winners. Let's shout out a few. The notoriously complex badge challenge was won by the Council of 9 for the 2nd year in a row. Hackers from all around the world came to take part in the official DEFCON CTF games. This year's event was won by the highly revered team Plaid Parliament Opponing from Carnegie Mellon University. For the EFF badge pageant, we'd like to give special praise to the wildcard winner and not XOR for their Bender badge. More about that in just a minute. But first, even though they didn't enter the competition, an honorable HWTV mention goes out to the Whiskey Pirates for their chest and key badge, which we could only find at their suite. Great job, guys. Okay, folks, that's it for the news this time. Those are our stories, and we're sticking to them. All right, it's time for our main segment. And for this special DEFCON episode, we decided to talk to the guys from &XOR, the creators of one of the coolest, most coveted custom badges for this year's con, the Bender badge. Hey guys, this is Troy from Hacker Warehouse TV, and here we're with the guys from &XOR, and we're talking about the Bender badge today, because everyone is talking about this Bender badge. Tell us why everyone's talking about this Bender badge.
Because it's cool. Like, we just had fun making this. We wanted to build a badge for ourselves that we liked, and figured, well, if we like it, why wouldn't DEFCON like it all, right? So we built this in our spare time, when kids were in bed, after work, whenever we could find any, spare time, and this is just like a passion of, or project of passion or whatever for us.
That's incredible. When did you guys get started?
I mean, I feel like really it was 2 weeks after the last con.
After the last con, so almost a full year.
So during the DEFCON 23, I did the Crypto and Privacy Village badge, and Jeremiah got so stoked on it, we just immediately rolled into like, all right, let's start it up. Let's spin something else. Let's get something new going.
We had a Google Hangout. We were immediately just like, what are we gonna do? Okay, do a badge. What are the features we want? And a lot of times you can get excited about it and say, we're going to do it. But then like reality kicks in, you like go back to work and you're just like, oh, okay, we'll get to it later. And then all of a sudden it's May and you're just like, okay, we can't do it, But Jeremiah was like, no, like I think Thanksgiving
weekend I did the schematic for this badge.
Okay.
And then went into writing the code a couple weeks after that. And so some of the code on the badge now, like the matrix animation and the flying toasters and the little dancing stick figure, those were all done right before Christmas.
Yeah, tell us about some of the games and the features you have baked in this, because you were at the badge hacking competition today.
Yeah.
And you guys won, right? You won the digital?
Yeah, we won the wild card for EFF.
Awesome.
So,
and you got a nice sash with that, right?
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I'm not wearing it right now. It's pretty nice looking, but we had to donate about $100 to EFF, which was, we had a little bit of extra on the side, so we kicked it over to them, so that's great.
Yeah. But you won because of all the features packed in, so tell us about some of the features.
Yeah, so we have about 20 plus animations. Out of the box, you get about 15 or 16. You have to unlock the rest. Mm-hmm. We've got a bunch of games in there, from a 2-player ninja game. It's basically rock, paper, scissors. Unless you're one of us, which have these red master badges. Mm-hmm. We have a 4th fight mode, which is we can dark tangent you and just like win the round. Nice. So if anybody fights us, we're gonna win. Don't bother. There's a ski-free game. It doesn't. Yeah. So if you remember that from Windows 3.1, right? It has a little rocks. You have a little like skull going down, skull and crossbones, and moving down the mountain. Is that your own version of ski-free, or did you like port the code over? How did that work? No, it's our own graphics, everything. There's no little guy in there, like little what's the guy? The little abominable snowman. Yeah, abominable snowman. He's gonna eat you at the end. We didn't have time. Did you say you put Flappy in it? Yes. Yeah? There's a Flappy DEFCON mode in there. So cool. Little stick, skull and crossbones, you're going through floppy disks. Yeah. So besides games, you said that it's also got RF in here. Yep. So what's baked in on the RF end, and then what can you do with that? You're holding a device. Yep. Tell us about that. Yeah, so we have an encrypted chat room in there. Wow. We also have there's a spectrum analyzer that's deeply hidden in there, so you can unlock it. It gives you about 25 megahertz of bandwidth to go look at. It's pretty cool. That's really cool. There's an alert mode, so if you have a red badge, you can like push out like, hey, come visit us for free beer, and that packet will hop to the other badges and hopefully cover the whole con if we've got our RF stuff working right. There's also a Rickroll mode, so we can Rickroll each other. And I have a little device here that's just constantly rickrolling these badges. Show one of those. So if you see, so basically all 3 of our badges just got rickrolled by my little device here. And tell us what the animation's playing on that. So that is the Rick Astley video. I took that from YouTube, converted it for the badge, and put it inside. That's incredible. It is an animation mode you can get if you unlock it, but we can also unlock it for you if we desire.
These master badges can also send out that same rickroll command. So we could be in a chat room and someone could be standing right there and I can just say, do you want to troll all human badges? Be like, yep, and I'll just broadcast it out. But so this guy does it every second just to mess with people. Kind of makes it more fun. So if you try to exit out, it basically says hacked by NSA, and then it'll just immediately go right back into it. But, wow, that is really incredible. All right, guys. Well, absolutely the most wanted badge here. I think you were sold out when? Like before the con even started, right?
Thursday night we were sold out.
Thursday night.
And it was a mad rush. We had about 300 people on the 9th floor of Paris. Yeah. Far more than we ever expected. The line was all the way down the hall. We only had 70 badges to sell. So next year, this has really set us up to do something even bigger. We want to get these in more people's hands. It's a development board. We want to see people hack on it. One guy actually did do a hack. I don't know, Jorge, if you want to talk about it. But,
somebody we actually saw the badge on Twitter during our development and actually made a cigar for Bender. And so you can see right here, it'll actually light up as Bender's smoking his cigar. It's fantastic.
I think at the badge contest, I actually saw one of these hacked with the spectrum analyzer of audio, right?
Yeah, that was him. Yes.
Oh, same guy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, this has a microphone, an op amp, and a low-pass filter on it, so it can support that.
Well, tell us where we can find out more information about it. You have a website, you have a Twitter account?
Yeah, so we have a Twitter account, ANDNXOR. Okay. So ANDNXOR is the Twitter handle. We have about 1,000 followers now and constant retweets, it seems. We also have a hackaday.io page that's linked to from our page. Yeah, Hackaday did a blog post about a week ago on the badge. So.
And you have a Hackaday site, is that correct?
Hackaday.io. It's Project 9064, if you can remember that.
Well, thanks so much for visiting us, and thanks for sharing this with us. Again, it's the Bender badge. Guys, probably the most wanted badge here at DEF CON. So appreciate your time so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Truly an awesome badge and a great group of guys. Remember to subscribe, as the full interview with even more details will be going live in the weeks to come. Every episode here at Hacker Warehouse TV, we do a segment on a key piece of gear that you should definitely have in your toolkit. Most of the products that we cover are available at our shop over at hackerwarehouse.com. Just click on the product below at any time during the segment to pick one up today. Okay, so let's get to it. This time, we're going to be talking about the HackRF and the Portapack add-on board. So first, a few things to know about the HackRF and the Portapack. HackRF is a software-defined radio transceiver that can transmit or receive most any radio signal from 1 MHz to 6 GHz. Powered via USB, and it's compatible with any antenna with an SMA male connector. The Portapack is an add-on for the HackRF that allows you to use the unit without a PC. It includes a screen, a jog dial, and a GUI for easy use in the field. Note that you will need a portable USB power source to use the Portapack HackRF setup. We were fortunate enough to arrange some time with Portapack's creator, Jared Boone, at DEF CON. Check it out. Hey, I'm Troy with Hacker Warehouse TV, and today we're here at DEFCON 24 in Vegas with Jared Boone. Morning, Jared.
Howdy.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And why are you here today?
My name is Jared Boone. I am a software-defined radio obsessive. I've been working on software-defined radio for 6-7 years now, and been developing a product that is a completely portable SDR that you can carry around without having to tether to your computer.
So tell us a little bit about your SDR and what it does.
So it's built on top of a HackRF and has an LCD screen, mechanical controls, micro SD card, audio I/O, and a battery to keep real-time calendar time. And with that, you can develop a lot of different SDR applications. Right now, the firmware will do demodulation of analog modes like AM, FM, wideband FM. It'll do spectrum analysis, give you about 18 megahertz worth of spectrum at once that you can see in the waterfall. There are also some digital modes that I've introduced more recently that will decode boat transponders, tire pressure monitors from some types of cars, and what's the other thing? Power meters. So like gas and electricity. There's one particular flavor that I've implemented so far. There's another flavor that I haven't gotten to yet, but should be pretty easy to implement.
Awesome. Well, if we were looking at the device, so it's called the Portapack, and it has a big screen on it. Can you tell us a little bit about how that adds benefits to the HackRF?
Oh, well, so the HackRF, you plug it into a laptop ordinarily, and you run the software like GNU Radio, GQRX, SDR Sharp, that kind of stuff. And you're kind of, if you're out in the field and you see an interesting signal, some antenna sticking up somewhere, and you're wondering, what is that thing? Pulling out your laptop, plugging in the USB cable, and kind of juggling all this stuff while you build up some GNU Radio flow graph to go and dissect, or at least capture the signal, it's a bit painful, and also maybe a little suspicious.
Yeah, I think that people are going to call it really they see your breakout audio.
Now, I wouldn't say this is not suspicious, but it's less suspicious.
Well, it's about the size of just a scanner, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a handheld scanner. When you first went out to make this device, what was the intent? What was the grand idea of making the Portapack? What was the primary reason you wanted to make it?
To some extent, I'm just sort of a radio romantic. In fact, I still listen to FM radio stations over the air. There's something romantic about these signals just coming through the ether and being able to pull them out of this giant mess of noise and translate them through certain mathematical equations, and suddenly you get the data. And there's just something amazing about that you don't really get in the wired technology. Wi-Fi and all that stuff is so complicated that it's kind of, so a lot of these sensor technologies and other radio technologies are so simple to deal with and so simple to hack that it's a lot of fun to just be able to tease them apart. It's so easy. And so security for wireless technologies, because of the fact that they're usually no more complex than necessary, is usually really, really bad.
That's so great. You made it purely out of passion just to get it out there, and all the different applications that people are doing with it now is really incredible. Now, tell us about your new firmware. So you just dropped new firmware for DEFCON. What's new in that beta?
I wanted to be able to capture a lot of the stuff that I was able to receive before. So there's a micro SD card slot and a pop card in there now. You can record the audio from AM, FM, wideband, FM transmissions, and you can record in a separate mode, just raw bass mode. So if you wanted to just record 500 kilohertz with a spectrum and sort it out later, just hit a button and now you're recording that baseband to the SD card, get back to your office or home, pop that card out, put it in your computer, run it through software like the Spectrum, Bogline, Radio, and start to figure out what is the signal, what's going on here. And then you could go and write some firmware or develop a phone graph, your radio, bring that back to the signal source and start to, you'd be almost done when you go back to the signal source and try again.
Do you watch online, like all the YouTube videos that people put out there of working with your device? Have you seen any of those or been impressed with any of them?
Well, so Furtek, one of the first things that he posted was he implemented RDS transmission. So RDS is a signal that's embedded in FM broadcast signals.
Ah, yeah,
that's
digital radio.
Yeah, so when you got a radio receiver and it shows the name of the station and the song that's playing, all that, that's all coming through RDS.
Okay.
He provided a way on the screen to type in a message.
Yeah.
And then he went into his car and transmitted the message, and it came up on the radio. And of course, it was dick butt.
Well, out of all messages, that's an alternative to Hello World.
Yep. Yeah, that's the hacker equivalent of Hello
That's right.
World.
And that was in France, right? So it's totally legal there, I'm sure.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
well, it's not one of the 7 deadlies, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm totally ADD when it comes to this stuff. So if anyone wants to contact me and say that they're interested in something in particular, I'm all about it.
And it's all open source, right?
Yep.
So if anybody wants to go out there and try to hack their way into a new module, it's all out there on your website, right?
Yep.
Now tell us a little bit about, so if there's new code or anything like that you're going to put out for this device, where can we find it? So give us your contact info.
So the repository for the project is at GitHub, github.com/sharebrained. It's like harebrained with an S on the front, /Portapack-HackRF. It's kind of long, but that's the repo. I've also got a website that's just sharebrained.com. And everything, that links to all the good stuff. I'm also in IRC on Freenode under Portapack, Portapack. And then I also got an email address floating around there somewhere if you look just a little bit. Yeah, if you're not a bot, it's easy to find.
All right, well, again, we're talking with Jared Boone. He is the creator of the Portapack for the HackRF. We're here at DEFCON 24. Please, if you have any questions for Jared or you want him to add anything to his code or have modules that you think would be interesting, add it in our comments below. Like and subscribe. Again, I'm Troy with Hacker Warehouse TV. Jared, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks again to our good friend, Jared Boone. Hello, welcome to the Hacker Warehouse TV segment where we show you how to get your Tradecraft on. That is, we'll show you how to use some of the latest and greatest tools available to the InfoSec industry. Now, here's a storyline you might have heard before. You research some amazing wireless vulnerability, responsibly disclose it, only to find the vendor hand waves it away as highly sophisticated and requires a hacker hiding in the bushes or a blacked out scary van somewhere. Well, that Kool-Aid storyline just got a little harder to drink thanks to this little baby right here. Introducing the Portapack. It's basically a software-defined radio, spectrum analyzer, and encoder-decoder that fits in the palm of your hand. Today, we'll show you how to use the Portapack in a simple spectrum analyzer to find and record signals in the lab or while you're in the field. At the heart of the Portapack is the famous HackRF SDR. The Portapack physically plugs onto the HackRF like a shield and provides a nice touch display and a jog dial. The latest firmware includes a mode switch that allows you to connect your laptop as a traditional HackRF or run in mobile mode as the Portapack. First, we'll show you how to connect a laptop to find and decode an audio signal in HackRF mode. Then we'll switch over to Portapack mode so you can see the difference for yourself. So to begin, you'll need a Linux machine running GQRX, GRC, or your SDR program of choice. Now we'll be using GQRX. We'll first connect the Portapack to USB for power. The laptop USB port is just fine for now. Got power. Now we'll navigate to HackRF option and activate. Scroll down and activate. It's always a good idea to run HackRF_info to ensure it's communicating with your laptop. Once confirmed it's online, we'll start GQRX and walk through the settings. Select the adapter, then we'll set our bandwidth to 1 MHz for this demo. Next, we'll set the frequency to find our target. Now, in the field, it's a good idea if you already know the frequency range of your target. If not, there are scanner programs available, but it's much easier if you know where to start. This can usually be found on the device datasheet somewhere or from the FCC ID if your target device has one. The datasheet is pretty straightforward. Here we see the datasheet gives us the range for this particular transmitter, which just happens to be a lapel mic. We'll be able to find, listen in, and record the audio from the microphone. Now, if you can't find a datasheet, you're not up the creek yet. You can still try to find the FCC ID of the device and look up the frequency that way. To find the FCC ID, first try an internet search of the model number. Check the support links of the device to get a copy of the manual. It's usually listed in there. Other times, unboxing videos will even give you a peek of the FCC ID on the box. Once you have the FCC ID, you'll need to hop over to the FCC lookup website to run a quick search. We're going to use fcc.io, which is a simple front end for the official FCC website. We'll enter the FCC ID and look at the results. Now, these results are from the official FCC website, and we're going to look over at the furthest right column that shows frequency. Once we have our magic frequency, we simply populate the frequency field in GQRX and begin our hunt for the signal. We'll start with 220 megahertz and step forward until we've found our signal. Okay, now here's a signal with some activity that might be what we're looking for. Now we need to determine if it's the correct one. In this case, we kind of cheated because we have access to the signal source. So we just turned it on and off again to verify we were looking at the right frequency. In the field, a simple technique is to correlate signal strength and proximity to the source. Then look and listen until you find it. Here it is, around 230 megahertz. Now we need to isolate the signal, fine-tune the bandwidth, and adjust the frequency. The strongest signal is right here at 230.6934 megahertz. Once we find the signal, we'll notice that there's no audio. This is because we need to set the built-in audio demodulator to the correct modulation scheme. In this case, wideband FM. Other built-in modes include AM and FM narrow. AM is often used in aircraft voice communication, while narrow and wide FM are used for most other voice signals. Subsignals will be audio in nature, but will require further post-processing, such as weather satellite photos and amateur TV. Not that kind of amateur TV. Now, if you're hunting for a signal from a distance, try turning on the PA or power amplifier and turning up the gain. Like the name implies, this is the front-end amplifier, and it's used to increase the gain of the incoming signal. Turn down the gain if the signal is too powerful and causing distortion to the audio. Now that our audio is clearly picked up, it's time to record it to disk. Recording can be accomplished on GQRX by simply pressing the record button. And once you press record, all signals will go to the default program folder. If you instead wanted to direct the audio to, say, another real-time program for post-processing, think Weather Radar, now is the time where you will begin piping the audio. So now you've seen what it takes to capture audio in stock SDR mode, we'll switch over to standalone Portapack mode. Running the Portapack by itself is much simpler. We'll just need a USB battery pack to take it portable, headphones, and an antenna. As you can see, this is a much more covert approach. No laptops, bushes, or scary black vans required. Now, if this was 1987, we would look pretty normal, but since the Walkman died out, we do look a bit suspicious. Google body-worn antennas. All right, once in the field, we'll simply connect the battery pack for power. There we go. Click Receive Mode, Audio. Tune to that same 230.6934 frequency we found earlier. There it is. You can see it on the waterfall display. I'll set the gain to give us a nice audio feed. Amplifier on. And turn the volume up. We can now simply and covertly monitor audio. The latest Portapack firmware also gives us the record feature. So plug in a micro SD card, click record. Now all those signals belong to us. So keep in mind, this is only one of the great things that Portapack can do. There are many more capabilities such as decoding ADSB, TPMS tracking, AIS tracking, NOAA weather satellite decoding, scanning, and open source firmwares that do much, much more. So as you can see, the Portapack is a simple, powerful, open source tool that enables a lot more covert pen testing in the field. I wouldn't be surprised if this tool alone reclassifies wireless attacks once deemed sophisticated into the not so much category. Thanks for watching Hacker Warehouse TV Tradecraft. Hope you learned something about this incredible tool, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to our premiere episode of Hacker Warehouse TV. Be sure to join us next episode as we take a look at a great new JTAG tool that was for sale for the first time at DEFCON this year, the Black Magic Probe, and talk to its maker, Peter Ezden-Timsky. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Once again, this is Troy with Hacker Warehouse TV signing off until next time. And as always, remember, keep it between the laws.